Hi, SA Summer here. Welcome to the channel. This is the first video I'm posting ever, first Sims video I'm posting ever on YouTube, and this really sort of came about because I've been in lockdown in South Africa now for 2 years, and I finished my honors degree last year, and so I'm sort of like at home with really nothing to do other than like look for jobs and watch Netflix. So I decided in all my glory to start a Sims channel, and it really came about from just like sitting at home watching other Sims YouTubers and thinking to myself, well, I too can build a house in The Sims, and so it sort of just became this thing where I was like, I'm just sitting here, I'm thinking to myself, what am I gonna do? With all this free time on my hands, I might as well build in The Sims. So today, as you can see, I'm sort of building a very loosely based suburban house, loosely based on houses in Johannesburg where I grew up. Obviously, this is an American simulator, so there is very little South African architectural details other than sort of brick. But yeah, so I sort of based it on that with what I had, obviously, and yeah, as you can see now, I'm including a driveway. Now I know we don't have cars in The Sims, but in South Africa, especially in Joburg, everybody drives. So every house normally has a driveway or somewhere to park your car at least. And I just thought to myself, well, we might as well include a driveway in this, for that maybe possibility one day we'll get cars in The Sims. And also South Africa, I didn't add it here, obviously. We have walls around our houses, especially in sort of suburban areas, with electric fence, but I was not going to add that in to this house because that is kind of a sad reality that we live in, due to many reasons that we'll not go into now. But yeah, so roofing the house was quite easy actually because it was sort of this L shape. And sometimes L shapes can be tricky, especially when they do not line up like this that one did. This one was quite simple, and I sort of used that trick where you put two roofs to hide the like poking out gable. And then this is my favorite trick with octagonal roof because it always hangs over. So you just put that normal gabled roof on and it just like blends nicely into the roof. And then obviously I added platforms, and we have a save here, sorry. I added platforms to make it look sort of like it's built into the wall because we don't really have like wooden decks. I did add a wooden deck in this house on the patio and on the outside, but normally our houses are very much concrete and brick, and they're built like into the ground. Yeah, we don't really have like high foundations, so I just raised it by one. And I noticed myself, I just remembered, I don't think I changed the color of that foundation, which I will do before I upload it to the gallery. But yeah, and then fireplaces. I quite like the stone from Island Living, and I use it in most of my houses for fireplaces because it looks almost like put together, like almost handmade in a way. Not really, that doesn't make sense, but you know what I'm saying. Sort of like put together. And then I was having trouble with the columns there, as you can see. So I sort of create these architectural details around the house. You'll see more throughout the build, sort of these architectural details where the column sort of was high on the one side and then came down onto the other. And then sliding doors, as you can see, big sliding doors is also a very big thing because luckily in Joburg, we only really get rain for 3 months out of the year in summer. Otherwise, our winters are actually quite warm. I mean, it is Africa at the end of the day, South Africa, 'cause, like, Africa is not a country. But yeah, it's a lovely place. Obviously, the weather is great. But yeah, and then the windows, I just chose the ones from Seasons. I just thought they looked nice, and they have that like black and white, which is nice because I wanted to look the house was renovated. So that's what I did there. Yeah, and then the garden sort of came about smaller than the actual lot. I could have actually put the garden on a smaller lot, but I decided that in all my wisdom that I was going to leave it on this big lot. But I suppose you could place it on a smaller lot, and it would be fine. Also, I added a floor onto the ceiling, or underneath the roof, because in South Africa, well, in the houses I lived in South Africa, a lot of our roofs were wooden with obviously then the shingles, or the roof tiles, and then the actual house was brick. So you'll see in a while when I add the wallpapers, I include the wooden like paneling on the roofs. And then obviously a garage. We don't have garages, so I sort of made one, and I really like that eco lifestyle wood. Oh, you can see now I'm adding the brick, the sort of like distressed brick peeking through like the concrete, and I just thought, well, this is a renovated house. Maybe it was this white brick, which is a thing in South Africa, and the person who renovated it, who I've decided is a writer, because I made an office for her on the second level. It's a mother and her daughter. And I sort of like made this. I like that distressed brick look where the brick is poking out of the concrete. I really enjoyed that, and then I just made a normal black roof, which is also a thing everywhere, I suppose. It's not necessarily a South African thing, but yeah. And as you can see, I'm going through now. You see, there's the wooden deck that I put on. And then I chose wood floors for the interior. Oh, like I said, the closed-door floor plan is very much a thing in like houses that were built in the 70's and then renovated. Some people knock down the walls, but more likely not, they just like stain or whitewash the archways. I went for like a light aesthetic throughout this house. In my mind, the writer that lives here, she is very eclectic. She likes to mix modern and contemporary furniture with more like eclectic pieces, and it looks like she's well traveled, obviously. And then with her daughter living with her, I made her daughter kind of different to her. You'll see later in the video. The daughter's bedroom is white, like mostly just white, unlike the mother, who throughout the house has included pops of color everywhere, which I thought was quite sweet. And then I had this weird glitch throughout building this house, and I don't know why. It's like the first time I've had it, where my half walls around the house just kept losing the wallpaper I placed on them. It was very annoying having to go back and do it again, but alas, seemed to be the problem. But I mean, it's not the end of the world, but I should really fix that. But yeah, and then I changed that white fencing to half wall. And I kind of like the half wall, like almost the privacy around it. And then obviously I have Twisted Mexie's mod Better Build and Buy, which is actually a godsend in finding debug plants, because they're all categorized. It's actually so nice, because when you don't have it and you have to scroll through debug, it's terrible. And live edit, oh, it's terrible. But this was just so nice and so easy. Yeah, and I just really used a mix of pink, whites, and like a little pop of blue in one of the places, and then like these bushes, which I quite enjoy. I obviously sized them down because they're massive, but yeah, so I really enjoyed that. I like the landscaping in this place. Also, when I went back into the build, all my terrain paint disappeared except for the driveway, so that was a bit irritating. So you might notice later in the video that the terrain paint has disappeared, and maybe if you notice it in the start of the video, when I was showing you the front of the house, there was no terrain paint, and I only realized afterwards. Oh, and then I love these stepping stones in live edit. You see, this is why Twisted Mexie's mod is amazing, because otherwise you have to scroll through pages and pages of debug to try and find these beautiful stepping stones. And the ones we have in rugs are terrible. Terrible, I hate them. They look like concrete slabs. I mean, so that's the point, but I like the ones that look more like stone. But yeah. And I really like this white lavender, and I'm kind of sad I never found it before, until this build, because I think that it would have been such a godsend in so many houses that I built. Talking about that, I was thinking I'm gonna try upload 3 times a week. So Monday will be like a sort of speed. Well, they'll all be speed builds, but Monday will sort of be like a build from my memory. I mean, from my head. Well, they'll all be builds from my head, but like I was thinking maybe one of them I could do like rebuilding famous TV shows, houses. Like the Hannibal Manor from Charmed, which is like one of my favorite shows. Sookie's house from True Blood. That would be nice, I think. But yeah, that's what I was thinking of weekly updates. So maybe Sunday, Wednesday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday maybe. Yeah, just to see how it goes. I mean, I'm gonna take it really chill, because obviously this is just me thinking to myself that I could have that I could be a build channel or even have a channel. But this is just to test the waters, and I'm sure it will be fine. But yeah, and I went for this really muted undertone inside the house, which I really liked. And then with the pop of color, I really enjoyed it. And the light woods, I think, really add to the aesthetic of that. Those like muted grays and like really like dull blues. I don't know. I just thought it was beautiful. We're gonna start furnishing now. Well, we've already started furnishing. Um, this fireplace that I picked changes. I just think it looks so bulky, and I've never liked it. Ever since The Sims 4 came out, I've never liked it, and I don't know why I put it in here. I think it was because of that wood. I thought that wood matched, but ugh, it's terrible. I hate it. Oh, this sofa. I love this sofa from Paranormal Stuff. Oh, such a great sofa. That TV cabinet also changes because it's not my favorite either. But yeah. Oh, I used the one from Peacemaker. Oh yes, that's what I wanted to build. Also want to try and maybe build a CC build. I know there's like lots of drama about CC, about because obviously not everybody has access to it, or everybody wants to download it every single time they want to download your builds. But like I really love Peacemaker and Harry and stuff, so I really want to use their CC. These are my favorite chairs in the Sims 4, those armchairs. I'm not really one for modern architecture, or modern furniture really. I really quite enjoy, like, my favorite kind of architecture is Victorian architecture. But there's something about those chairs, they're just like so sleek, and it looks like they're CC. I'm not saying that the Sims team can't make beautiful chairs, because obviously they can. Like that couch, and those two chairs. But, oh, they're such beautiful chairs. They did such a good job there. And then that wood burner, oh, I love it. It really looks like it's like an old fireplace that's been, not renovated, refurbished. It's really nice. But yeah, I just sort of use this room as like sort of like a comfortable place where maybe her and her daughter watch TV, or even she watches TV alone. She can do that. She's an independent woman. But yeah, just like a place where her and her daughter just sit and they just like sort of comfortable, and it's sort of like a peaceful place to be. And that's why I like the blues and the yellows and stuff. I really enjoyed that kind of aesthetic. Oh, and I'm sorry about the sound. By the way, I'm planning on getting a new microphone, but yeah, I'm sorry if the sound is terrible of my voice, I'm saying. But yeah, and then this corner was, I promise you, I spent like 15 minutes, you don't see it because I cut it out, but I spent like 15 minutes trying to find something for this corner, and eventually you'll see I settled on a plant. Actually, one of my favorite plants in the game. A very underrated plant. It was, we got that with that like almost like Caribbean updates in for base game. And I love that whole set that they gave us, especially those wooden chairs. But yeah, I settled on this like one of my favorite plants in the game. I try to fit that plant from Eco Lifestyle in, but I do not think it is going to fit anywhere inside. But I suppose that's fine. And then this travel table also was a bit of a struggle, because I thought to myself, let me try to put a plant there. Then I realized if you sit, you cannot watch TV. And then I was gonna put that water thing there, but then I put the tea on the other chair, and I was like, okay, these people are gonna be so they're gonna need a wee all the time, the amount they're drinking. But yeah, so I changed it, and I quite like that thing of flowers. It's interesting to me that it's not in flowers, but I suppose maybe it's dried flowers. I mean, maybe it is in the catalog. I mean, don't quote me. I have never looked. And then these paintings, oh, they remind me of African art so much. Not that painting, the other painting I put on the wall. That one there. That I just went past. Yeah, it reminds me of African paintings so much. I just hope one day in the future we do get a pack based in Africa, especially like it's kind of like an African city. Like, I'm not saying we need to have Johannesburg or Cape Town. It doesn't have to be South Africa, but it would be nice, just to have a African city, because we have Bridechester, which is sort of based on the UK, and then obviously every other city is based on an American town. So it would be nice, it is meant to simulate life. Some of us do live here in Africa, in South Africa. But yeah, whenever I say Africa, I always sound like an American saying that they want to go to Africa. It always irritated me when in movies, and they're like, I want to go to Africa. Where in Africa? Africa is a big place. It's a whole continent. And it almost make it out like Africa's a country. It just makes me laugh. But yeah, I really like those lights from Paranormal Stuff as well. I like them over the dining room table, and obviously there's Harry's set that she made. She's one of my favorite CC creators. I also love her builds, but she hasn't been building lately because she's been so busy with CC, which, like, God bless her, because her CC is amazing. I love it. You go, girl. Carry on. But yeah, and I really also quite like it's almost like modernist furniture in Eco Lifestyle, like this, like almost like turn of the century modernist furniture, which is really nice. And that's what I also added into this house, like this sort of blend. Like, it's apparent this lady has taste, or more likely I have taste. But I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm just saying, it's apparent this lady has taste. Like, I thought when I was building and thinking from her perspective, this writer, I thought to myself, she probably has collected a lot of stuff over the years, and it's sort of just like it's so positioned well inside of her house, almost to feel like it's very flowy, even though it is a very closed off house. But it's very flowy, and I changed those terrible windows behind the counters. I just hate when the windows cut into the counters, and then when I watch someone do that, I actually want to like rip my hair out. It's terrible. But yeah. And I love the Vampire's Kitchen. I think it's my favorite kitchen in game, so far. I mean, I haven't really been keen on buying any of the kit packs, because I've heard like the dust is crazy, and I just have no urge for that. And it was actually quite funny because I was talking about it with my mom the other day, and I was saying like, yeah, I bought laundry day a while ago, and she was like, you actually bought laundry to do in a simulation, like you made a choice to do chores. But I just think it adds to the realism of The Sims. Not that The Sims is obviously far from reality, but chores. But I just think it adds to the realism of The Sims. Not that The Sims is obviously far from reality, but the idea that like you can do chores like laundry and vacuuming and stuff. I just don't know. It adds something. It adds like an extra layer of of just like being encumbered by the game. Maybe encumbered is the wrong word. But you know what I'm trying to say, like being like losing yourself in it. Because I always felt, especially growing up, I always felt The Sims was a much of an escape for me. And I think that when you are playing fictional characters and making up stories for them, you can take a break from your own life, because at the end of the day, life is quite difficult, and we face a lot of challenges throughout life. And I just think having something like The Sims, and that's why I think the community is always like been so strong, and why it's such a popular game, is because at the end of the day, it is a way for one to almost have a stress relief. Or just like remove themselves from their own reality, because our own realities can be terrible sometimes, and I think it's important that one has sort of a release or an escape. And I think this is why people are so passionate about The Sims, and why people have so many opinions. Like if you read Twitter, for example, people are insane, but you can see the passion, though. I must be honest with you. Like, as much as you think to yourself, that's unnecessary, you shouldn't say things like that. But I think it innately comes, or genuinely, not innately, genuinely comes from a place of passion for the game, and for the future of it. Because I don't think any of us want it to go away. And I think that's what I think that people need to remember, especially when you love something so much, is that you want to fight for it. You want to make it as best as it can be. And like, I was watching Devin Bumpkin the other day, and he was saying that you should complain about things you love, because they'll make it better, and it should be. And I agree with him. I'm probably paraphrasing him terribly, but you know what I'm saying. I agree with him, what he was saying. Like, you should complain. You should say what you want about something that you love, that gives you that escape, that gives you that stress relief. We're moving on to the lady's office now. So you could use this as a third bedroom. Obviously, you don't have to have my lady writer here. I was thinking she's like an Africana novelist, almost like a Chimamanda vibes. Like, she writes, and she has her daughter, and she's kind of like a free thinking lady. I was thinking of creating her. I was thinking the name Zinhle, but then I was like, yeah, I don't really love making Sims in The Sims. I really love building, obviously, but yeah. So I was thinking, she is this amazing African writer, and I just, because I obviously studied English in university, and in high school, obviously, but I did my degree, undergraduate degree in psychology and English, and then my honors degree in English. And when we did African literature, I honestly think it was one of my favorite pieces of literature that I ever did. And I don't know, I just think it's a form of literature that should be more widely read. Obviously, I don't know what people read what's on offer in other countries. But I'm just saying, I personally love African literature. You will see now that we are going to move over to the daughter's bedroom, which I wanted to do in a very much of a white aesthetic, because throughout this house, as much as there are muted tones and stuff, there's still lots of color in a sense, you know? And I just think she almost doesn't rebel against her mother. I think she has lots of respect for her mother. I just think that she has a different almost view on life as her mother. You know, almost her mother lives out loud, present, and then I think she, on the other hand, is not as present. I'm not saying that she's a bad person, I'm just saying, well, bad to him, I suppose. But she, I don't know, I'm really over complicating this. But yeah, that was my idea. And I also love those wall lamps. I think they're from Seasons, but don't quote me. But I just think they're a bit big, so I just sized them down one. This is the daughter's bedroom. As you can see, it's very minimalist almost. Well, not exactly minimalist, but sort of minimalist. And white. And then I chose this lamp from Island Living that I have probably never used, and I actually think it's so nice. And I just think it adds like a nice aesthetic to her room. And then I put a candle on the side table, and then I put a Brightchester University poster, because like maybe that's where she wants to go, maybe that's her dream. And then maybe that also looked like African art to me, so I was like, cool, she has African art in her room. And then I obviously put a desk in here, because I wouldn't imagine that they like to work together, like she does her homework and her mother writes. I don't think they like to do that in the same room. I would imagine that they need some like private time to do each thing. And then I gave her a laptop, and I love that plant from Eco Lifestyle on her desk. I love it. I probably will overuse it in the future, but alas. And then I went for like a yellow and white ottoman, because I thought that it could be like a pop of color in her room, and it sort of matched with the green and the yellow in the in the Brightchester poster. And then I put like maybe her favorite band and maybe her favorite movie, and then maybe some drawings. I was like, maybe she's an artist, but like a very like minimalist artist. Maybe she likes to draw like people. But yeah, and then I used those awful lights above her desk. I mean, I don't like hate them, but you know, they don't have the best texture on them. And this is obviously the mother's room. I again went for like a blue sort of color, and then I love this bed, and I only like this watch, but I love this bed. And then obviously I use the Season side tables, and they sort of don't match 100%, but I mean, I have to look past that. We don't have a color wheel like we did in The Sims 3, but yeah, it's not terrible. And then I use that modernist dresser, and then these two chairs from Eco Lifestyle, which I thought would be nice. Like maybe she sits there in the morning, reads, watches the joggers. Maybe she thirsts over some attractive male joggers on the road. You know, she's a single lady. She has her prerogatives. You know, but yeah, I thought that was quite cute. Also, I did not record footage of the bathrooms because I despise building bathrooms. It's my worst room to build in The Sims. So if you want to see the bathrooms, download the house. Link is in the description, obviously, to my gallery. And then you can download the house. There will be some other houses on that thing, probably, unless I delete them from the past. But yeah, don't judge me on those. But yeah, so I don't know if I'll probably delete them. But if I don't, then, you know, also feel free to download those. A lot of them have CC in though, which I know for everybody that's a little bit irritating, because you know, having to download the house and then going to have to download the CC, and it's just very annoying. So I've always understood why people prefer non-CC builds, which all my builds will probably be. I'll probably make a CC build once every 6 months if I get the urge, but they'll mostly be non-CC, I think. And then we in South Africa we normally have a courtyard outside our kitchen where we do where our washing line hangs. Obviously, because we have such great weather, so we can hang our washing outside almost every day. It's sunny, so that's great. And I did put a tumble dryer in. Oh, and we're on screenshots. Anyway, thank you so much, everybody. I hope you enjoyed my first video, and I will see you later this week. Bye.